Somebody's having struggles, right? Okay. So we are reducing fractions because we're trying to get them down to a number that we can work with, so we can get them small enough. But I say something all the time when we reduce. And when I say, I give you this, when we're reducing, how do I figure out if I can reduce this or not? Brandy, if you need to come up here and sit, then get up here and sit. Tyler, why don't you sit at the desk, sweetie? She probably might just keep it with you and you can go in between PE, okay?
I know. Sorry.
Zach, do you want to come join us so you're not by yourself? Okay. All right, you ready? You got your fraction written down? What am I going to do?
You're going to find, okay, you're going to see what goes into 12.
Oh, okay. I don't know where my black one is. Can you hand me my blue one from over there?
You walk under there. Oh, that's the.
I'm going to rewrite it so it's darker for the camera. This is your 15 minutes of fame, lovelies. Remember, we're going to be superstars today. Reducing fractions. So what did you tell me you did, Brandy? You're going to do?
You have to see what goes into 12, and it's 6.
6 goes into 12.
And then 12 goes into 30.
Okay, so we're having a problem. One thing I've always said is whatever you do to the top,
You do to the bottom.
you have to do to the bottom.
So the bottom part also.
So you're going to make the bottom part also 6. Just wait. Okay, so how many times does 6 go into 12? Goes in 2 times.
And then for
36, how many times does 6 go into 36?
6.
Is that reduced as far as it'll go? Till there's no more reducing?
No.
Why not?
Because 6, you know, that's all. That's all.
Okay, Tyler, is that reduced down as far as it'll go?
No, it's not. You can divide it, it's 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then 6 divided by 2 is 3. I know, 1, but that 1/3 side.
That's fine, that's fine.
And to make it easier, you could have just 12 divided by 12 would equal 1, and then 12 divided by 36, and then 36 divided by 12 is 3.
Okay, so listen, we can look at this because we're having struggles on getting it all the way down. You guys are reducing, but when it says to the simplest form, it means to make it to the smallest number it can be. He says that this could have been, it could have looked like 12/36 could have been divided by 12. And 12 would go into 12 one time. to 36 3 times. Is that the same answer?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you do it this way? Absolutely. Sometimes you're gonna see a number and you see a number that they have in common because they're gonna have more than one number in common. And you might go with the middle number or the smallest number, but you gotta still keep looking. What could you have asked yourself based on this fraction? What's something that Mrs. H always says? When you get it reduced down and you wanna make sure it's the lowest it can be. Are they odds or evens, right?
Yeah,
And they're both what?
They're both evens.
So what's the one number we know for a fact is gonna go in there? We know 2's gonna go in there when they're even, right? So that's why we did this. Okay, if it would have been,
You want me to just get over?
the answer would have been 1/6, we would have been done. What would you have done if it looked like this? Brandy?
It would have been fun, but, it would not be able to.
You can't reduce that anymore?
No, you can.
I want you to look. You remember the little trick I taught you on your multiplication sheet? What did I tell you? I said you find a line that has both the numbers,
In it.
the line, right? Not the column, the line that has both of the numbers in it. See if you can find a line that has both 3 and 6 in it. What line is it?
It's 1 and 2.
It's the line for 3. So line for 3, so you're gonna, what did you do, the top? You have to do to the, okay. So how many times does 3 go into 3?
3. No. 1.
1 time. And how many times does 3 go into 6?
2 times.
2 times. Okay. Can that be reduced anymore? Okay, the numbers stand beside each other on a number line. We're done. We also know that 1 and 2 are what kind of numbers? It's one's an odd and one's an even, but they are prime numbers because only 1 and that number go into it. That's it. So they can't have any more numbers in common except for, and we can't, it's just gonna be itself, right? Okay, so we know we can't reduce that down anymore, right?
Yeah, you can go to decimal.
That's not reducing,
I know.
that's converting.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, we're joking.
All right, so what we're having problems with is reading our multiplication table. So I saved a special multiplication table.
That's one.
But it doesn't have, you'll have to check it for the wrong answer, see if it had the wrong answer in it like we did the
Yeah,
other
what
day,
did?
okay? The number 26, right? The 26 was in the wrong place, right?
No, it wasn't completely in the wrong spot. It wasn't completely in the wrong spot. It was like 3 or 4 lines up further than it really needed to. I'm sitting there thinking,
Well, the number 26, it was on,
it was only
9 times 4, should have been what?
36.
Instead of 26, right?
Yeah, I just wonder what Google is doing with their life.
Well, that's not Google what? Yes, you can go get the light for me. Come on. Isn't that nice? Zach?
Just the front one or both?
Can you see okay with 1? Okay. Well, we're getting there, I don't. What hurts? The light hurts your eyes?
Where's my room?
Well, if you guys need to back up, you can back up. Tyler has visual problems, and so we're making this acceptable so that it's easier for him to see.
I'm used to the bright lights, so.
Okay. You, you know you don't get comfy seats until your work is done.
Okay, let me see.
You see it? It's not in there.
Yeah. They
So-
actually did this one picture
Okay.
right.
So I can scroll up and down to get to bigger ones, but look at this multiplication chart. What's different between this multiplication chart and the one you guys normally look at? Number one, it's what?
Color coded.
It's color coded, isn't it?
Yep.
It's gonna help you. Remember I was showing you how to pull your hands like this? Okay. What is this doing?
It's
Doing
showing,
the same thing.
showing you.
Okay.
You're showing where it lines up.
1 times 1 is 1 because these are the square roots. So that's the track they're taking. So I want to know the greatest common factor for 36 over 42. How am I going to reduce that, Zach? Come up here with me. Stand up here by me. So find where 36 and 42 are on the same line. Can you see it? I want 36 and 42 on the same line. Is there a 42 in here? Okay, so it's probably not that line. I want you to look on this half of the multiplication chart. Brandy, could you please move that table one more time? Every time you move, that's what makes it known.
Table.
Very
Move
nice.
your finger on it. Okay. Don't look at this half. What's number 36 begin with? Okay. Look, Zach. Is there a 36 here? 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 Is there a 42 there? Line. Remember, line, is there a 42 here? Great, so what number is 36 and 42 on? No. This is the line. These are the columns. So 6. So what am I going to divide 36 and 42 by? No. I have to do whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So it has to be the same number. So what number goes into both of them? 6. Okay. Stay right there. So I'm going to divide it by 6. So how many times, put your finger on 6 and 36. Now you need to follow it up to see how many times it goes in there. It goes in 6 times. Okay. How many times does 6 go into 42? Okay. Do you concur? Which means do you agree?
Yes, I do.
You agree. Do Thumbs up, thumbs down, concur means agree. Okay. So this is where we're having our issues at. So this is a way I can show you to correct it. Be able to see the line.
I
This
know.
is what I do, okay? Your guys' multiplication charts are laminated. You can write rows, columns, okay? What word did I write, Zach? Can you see it?
What,
What do I call this?
lines,
Lines, very good. So, I'm going to do 88, 88 and 96, okay? Now, sometimes what you guys are doing is you're just trying to find the number. You're just looking at the multiplication chart and you're just trying to find the number. Take your finger and run it down the line. Is there any 88 in that line?
no,
This line?
no,
Okay, you're gonna go through until you find that number. I know where it's at, but I'm gonna keep going. Looking for 88. And 96.
no.
I'm getting close though, aren't I? Is it in there?
I see 88, 96.
Oh, here it is. Okay, so what line am I on?
8.
Alright, so take your erasable marker and you're gonna circle 8. What do I want you to do with that 8? This is how I would do it, because this is how I keep track. I know I have to divide by that number, and I know I'm in this line, so whatever I do to the top, I have to do.
To the bottom.
Okay, now, this one's gonna be a little tricky, but I'm gonna run my finger this way till I get to my 88.
And go up and it'll be 11.
Okay, it'll be 11, so I need to write my 11 down.
It'll be 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then 12.
Now I'm gonna run my finger across again, and what is it?
12.
Because now I'm running up, and it's gonna be 12.
It's gonna be 11, 12.
11 twelfths. And what do those guys do on a number line?
They're next to each other.
They stand by each other, don't they? So are we done?
Yes.
We are done. Are you always gonna come up with ones that stand next to each other on a number line?
No.
No, you're not always gonna have to reduce down. But I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look and see if Zach could possibly bump that table again. And I'm gonna see if 11 and 12 are in a line together.
It's between the 2 8s and 2 7s again.
Yeah, that's all right. What line is that?
The ones.
The ones, okay? Are we gonna do anything with ones?
No,
Cause it's still just gonna be the same answer, right?
pretty much.
The mirror, right? One's a mirror, right? Okay, I see a 10 and a 12, does that get me anywhere?
Yeah,
No, but
I'm
there,
gonna check a couple more, I see a 9 and a 12.
and then it goes
Do you
up.
see any kind of pattern? I see an 8 and a 12.
We're going,
Say it, Zach.
we're going down. Like,
So the front number is going down. If I find a 12,
6 and 12.
yeah, so are we gonna get to 10 and, or 11 and 12? No, the only place is in the ones, so we are done.
And I also note that if you notice, when it has an odd in front, it usually can't go
if it's 110 and 112, you're gonna get it, or 120, you're gonna get 10 to go into it, but it's
Yeah.
still gonna only reduce down to 11/12.
Yeah.
Okay? Alright, so, what are the name of these guys that go down?
Columns.
Zach, what are they? Okay, there are two names that you can use for the ones that go across, so what do we call them?
Rows or lines?
Okay, Zach,
Rows
or lines, right? They go across, just like a line on your paper, right? On your notebook paper when you write. Okay. Brandy, can I get you to turn the lights back on? Alright. So, I'm going to put an assignment. You guys will need to get on a Kuno to go into Khan Academy. And when you get in there, you're gonna pick fractions. Okay, go get a Kuno and get signed on to Khan Academy. Go get on that computer.
Do you want me to get out of my,
I want you to get on that computer and I want you to get on Khan Academy. I wanna make sure that you're reading your multiplication chart correctly and answering some questions, because I'm gonna have you reduce fractions. And I'm giving you the laptop, Tyler.
And,
sorry,
yeah.
I didn't know the book was sitting halfway on
My
the chair.
I do not, but I'm going to work with you while we're here, okay?
How do I exit out of this?
What are you in?
Play-Doh.
You can just close the tab and
password written
sign back
down?
into Play-Doh, because for some reason it has an issue. Okay? Now, do you wanna come back here and work at the table, Tyler, instead of being up there? Because everybody's moving towards this part of the room, and I don't want you to feel like you're
No,
doing.
I'm fine.
Okay,
I'm fine with it.
alright.
I used to be alone all the time back in Pennsylvania, so, you
Okay.
know what I mean? So I got used to it.
So I'm gonna have you go in and work on fractions, reducing fractions when you get in there, but I gotta type in your password. Do you know that person? Oh, who it is?
Caleb?
Caitlin. Play-Doh will come up,
Yeah.
and then go ahead and just click open an extra tab.
Yeah, Caleb.
And then type in your Khan Academy. She is,
She isn't.
isn't,
Probably not.
Okay.
That's for sure.
Oh, okay. Are you trying to find your sign in there, Goofy?
Which table?
The peanuts, oh nice. We'll erase it, I have big erasers. What are you looking for, Brandy? See if you wrote it down on a piece of paper, sweetheart, and put it
I
in
got
your,
the first half, I just got the
listen to
wrong
me.
one.
If you would write it down and put it in your mailbox, then you could just walk over there and get it and have it.
Are you done
Hey,
recording?
Miss,
No.
Miss Danville.
No, not Miss Sample, I know I look a lot like her, but I'm not her.
I was thinking Caitlin there, but they,
You're gonna just
I
sign
know,
in with
yeah,
your,
I know,
okay,
I know,
so I know, I need you to get signed in so that I can work with you, Tyler. Okay? Hey, Goofy, you need one of these? Yeah, we'll work on putting those fingers together, okay? As soon as you get signed in, I'll help you get into fractions, okay? Alright, so let's go into pre-algebra. Keep going. Keep going. Go.
It's froze.
No. Are you in?
It froze.
Well, just hold on a second.
Well, I guessed for my first test, and I got 8 out of 13 right.
And you guessed?
Yeah.
Just imagine what could happen if,
I didn't feel like reading all that other stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly my point.
But, oh my God.
It's good as a world.
I don't read it too.
So we can find our fractions in here. It's just. I should be able to. Reducing.
Reducing fraction. Red.
It's not done running. I don't know why they put that.
I'm ready to leave.
Understanding and finding factors and multiples. Greatest common factors. So you're gonna practice finding greatest common factors, which is exactly what, we're doing here, cause we wanna find the largest number that goes into, to reduce. So, they're gonna give you a couple of examples and then you're gonna practice those. So they give you 3 numbers. So you're gonna be able to find those 3 numbers on your, okay, which way is your line run? Okay, horizontally, yes. You're still froze? Did he get the first one? Well, of course he did. The one that didn't wanna, okay. See, you're feast or famine, buddy. You're either pushing that 500 times or you, don't push it at all. Okay, the world of math. Let's see what we're gonna do here, bud. We're gonna go to reducing. And then we're gonna practice. Remember that video from the other day?
Yeah, that was him.
That was him. So you're gonna go in and practice, okay?
At least you're getting some money, you know what I mean?
Well, there you go. You're getting some money.
You know what I
And
mean?
here's the multiplication chart. If you need it, here's the multiplication chart. You can start working on it. I'm gonna make sure Brandy's getting where she needs to be. Did you get it? You need some scratch paper? Okay. All right. You're gonna need scratch paper. Scratch paper. We're going to find. I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna type. Reducing fractions to the simplest terms. Okay? So this is what I'm gonna do. We'll put your paper over here, we're gonna put your multiplication chart over here, okay? I'm gonna click on this. Goes up again. Here, we'll practice. I'll write some down for you when we practice, okay? so let's see how you're gonna work this, shall we? See if you remember what we did in our lesson, okay? So what are you gonna do? Here's your first one, what are you gonna do?
7, 8,
What number's that?
7, 14.
Okay, so what are you gonna do?
It'll be 7.
Okay, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna add, subtract, multiply, or divide.
And
Remember what that funny symbol was? We're going to, what's the opposite of multiply?
divide
We're going to divide by, what'd you tell me?
7, 7.
Okay, so 7 over 7, because what we do to the top,
We do to the bottom.
we do to the bottom. Okay, so you're gonna need to look at your chart again and tell me how many times does 7 go into 7?
1,
One time. And how many times does 7 go into 14?
2.
2 times. Can we reduce any further down?
No.
Okay, can I get you to do the next 3 for me? Brandy, how you doing?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll be there just a second.
Because,
I'm coming, Hanlon. Yes.
I found out why I guess got the answer the first answer wrong. I was confused about what they meant, like what they were saying, the lowest term, and then they showed this stuff at the bottom, so I was totally confused. So I just put 15 because I knew the answer, and it was wrong. I'm like, okay. Let's
I was
see.
15 in the answer.
Yeah, it was the last
Okay.
question.
So what are we supposed to be doing?
It's 10 divided by 5 is, 10 divided by 50 is 5, and then 5 divided by 10 divided by 2 is 20 is 2. Just like
Okay, but is that, remember, what's wrong with this?
it's a mere proper fraction, so you put it in this term, which is 2 and 1, 2.
What's 1, 2? How do you say that as a fraction? 2, and you say 1, 2, what is that?
2 and 1.
1,
4 and 5.
1 half. Look, if I divide my circle
Yeah, it's 1
into
half.
2,
Yeah.
and I eat one part of that pie, I've eaten half of it. Which you know is wrong, because I would eat the whole thing. Okay?
Yeah.
Alright. And you are aggravated.
I'm just saying, I'll question that for you really quick. Before classes, can I run to the bathroom before classes?
You may quickly go right now, because class is gonna end in about 10 minutes, so quickly go right now.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ouch.
Why do you have the number 3 in there?
Incredible.
Okay, the reason why, look at me. No, you have to look at me to understand what I'm saying, and don't roll your eyes. You did. What line is the numbers 63 and 42 on? Find a line that has 63 and 42. Is that how I just got done showing you how to do it?
I'm doing it the right way.
You are not.
Because I'm not putting my finger across it, I'm looking across the line.
You're looking all over, Brandy. You need to put your finger and run it across. Listen, do it my way until you get used to it. And when you get used to it, then it becomes secondhand, instead of arguing and wasting your time and not understanding. Are there 63 or 42 there? Are they here? I'm not even close, am I? So I'm gonna keep going. I see a 42, but am I even close to 63? Is it here? Is it here? You need to quit crying. Is it here? There's no 42 and 63. There's a 42, but there's no 63. Are we getting close? Is there a 42 and 63 here? Okay, see, you didn't find it because you're doing this,
Done.
okay? So, there's 42 and there's 63. What line are they on? So how could 26 be the answer?
7. No.
Click the correct. Cause you're hanging. Okay, so what's it say?
What time is that in there? 7 is a factor of odd numbers, but it is not the greatest common factor. Is there another number that is a factor of odd numbers?
Okay, so this isn't the greatest, which means it's not the biggest. So which way are you gonna go?
Down.
Okay. 42 and 63. 42 and 63. There's a 63, but no 42. 42 and 63. It's not even gonna make it in that line, is it? Why?
Because they're all like the whole house.
Okay, it's not gonna make it in this line either, why?
Because they're the same, the number is the same as itself.
Okay. No? No. No. So, you need to get a calculator. Thanks, Mariah. So, how high did we go? So what's the next number?
Next number is
What comes after 15?
30. No, 6.
Thank you. So what are you gonna do? No, divide 63 by 16. Is that gonna work? Why?
Because it's
Okay. What's the next number?
no.
Because it's a decimal. It's not a whole number, is it? What's the next number? Not gonna work. 63 divided by 20.
You didn't even do anything.
I skipped 18 and went to 19. So we're at 20. Does 20 work? No. What number did you use? Okay, so what are we gonna do now?
No.
Can't put 3 because it's smaller than 7. So you have a choice. You're either gonna put 3, 21, 7, or 6. 21. But we've gotta double check. So how do we double check? It has to go between two numbers, so
You take 63,
we already did 63. 42.
divided by.
So, is 21 the greatest common factor for 63 and 42? Type it in. Okay,
Find the greatest common factor of 7 and 7.
what's the biggest number that can go into 7?
No. No. 7.
Okay. See, you did that all by yourself. Now what are you gonna do?
Try 21 and 28 on the same one.
Okay, and you're gonna make sure it's the first number you come to or the largest number?
The one.
The largest number. All right, let's check you out, buddy. Okay. Do you see, look at me. Do you see a difference between yours and mine? Is there a difference? One's a 9.
2.
Yes. Very good. Correct. 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 I think we could find a bigger number. Why do I think we can find a bigger number? What are 8 and 10? Okay. So what do I know for a fact? If I have two even numbers, what do I know for a fact? There doesn't have to be an odd. What number do I know for a fact will go into these two numbers?
2.
Okay, so we need to keep going then, don't we? So what's it gonna be?
2.
And whatever you do to the top, you... Okay, so how many times, when you look here, does 2 go into 8? Find your number 2 over here.
4.
Okay. You just write it underneath and it's fine. Draw 4, and then how many times does 2 go into 10?
2. 5.
Now what do I know?
That's the answer.
How come?
Because they go next to each other.
They stand next to each other on the number line, don't they? Okay. You can practice on here because it came on. Okay. Okay, you can pause, oh, it's time for Pastor to deal with anyway.